Welcome to another special episode of the Videostore Junkies podcast. In this one, we're going to be talking about streaming services. And tonight, we're going to be talking specifically about Paramount Plus, which is a kind of new streaming service from Paramount. We're going to be looking at the functionality, the content, and then we're going to be rating it and telling it if we think it's worth your money. I'm joined by Paul and Renee tonight, so let's jump in and talk about Paramount Plus. So let's talk about Paramount Plus today, which is, I guess, technically a new streaming service. Although not really, because I guess it's just a rebranded CBS All Access, if I understand correctly. Paul, you've had CBS for a while, right? Is this just the next generation of that?
I don't even know if there's much different with it because I thought there was supposed to be more content, and when I took a look, it's like the interface certainly didn't change, and the interface is pretty terrible. So
Yeah.
I thought there were supposed to be more movies added, and I thought there were supposed to be more TV shows, but I haven't really noticed because I haven't really dug around that much.
Yeah. Let's break it down. Renee, have you tried this out? By the
I
way,
have. I
okay,
tried it when it was CBS, pretty much like everybody else, and then it transitioned into Paramount. And
gotcha.
yeah,
Well, yeah, let's break it down. I guess we can. I mean, this is going to be a pretty short episode, but we can kind of break it down into probably two different categories for rating this thing. I'm thinking functionality or usability, and then the actual quality of the content. So let's start with the functionality, and I want to start with the biggest thing. So it's 2021. There are about 1 billion streaming services out there. You'd think that basic functionality is kind of obvious to anyone who is starting a new streaming service. But okay, here's the thing. Paramount Plus has, as far as I can tell, and you guys can correct me, there's no queue system or watch list. You cannot add anything to a watch list.
mm-hmm.
And
Am I
no,
wrong?
pretty much. No, you're pretty right. And the other part of the thing about that is, if you watch one episode of a series, it sticks it forever in your continue watching section.
Right.
So for instance, when I wanted to show my wife and show Renee an episode of the tail end of a Love Boat episode where I swear it implied Julie had a threesome.
Yes.
The
most important episode.
Yeah, now I have the Love Boat stuck in my queue. Like, keep watching season 2, episode 12. I'm like, no, I would rather die. But it's there forever, like the Scarlet Letter.
I will say, and I hate it when apps do this, but there is actually different functionality if you go online. If you log in through a browser, you can actually edit that queue. But yeah, otherwise you can't do it if you're and I should say, for the sake of this, anything that I mention about the actual streaming experience, I am on a Roku. I don't know about you guys, but I'm basing the Paramount Plus experience on Roku.
Yeah, that's what we generally use to watch it. We occasionally watch it on the PC though.
Yeah, so there's no queue. That is mind-boggling to me. I mean, there are profiles. Like, it lets you add profiles, which I mean, I guess it's for the, like what you just mentioned, the keep watching thing. But for me, I mean, so the first thing I always do when I get onto a new streaming service is I pretty much sit there and just go through the entire catalog, and I just add absolutely everything that looks interesting to my queue. I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm like OCD, but I have to have, like, that's my initial experience. So when I got on this, I was like, okay, how do I see some stuff I want to watch. How do I add it to, like, a watch list? Oh, there's no such thing. I have to just, like, remember. And when I want to go watch something, go, like, re-find it, which I don't know. It's just crazy to me.
Or you could watch like the first second of it, and it'll stick in your keep watching queue forever.
Oh, that sounds exhausting and stupid. You could. You're not wrong, but oh my God.
I don't know why you need a watch list, really, because when you're done watching an episode, it just plays into whatever it thinks you should watch next, and don't even think about finishing the credits. So yeah,
that's true. We were watching The Stand, and it kept saying, now you're going to watch Star Trek Discovery. It's like, how did you get Star Trek Discovery from The Stand?
Well, because that's probably, like, the only two things worth watching on this. So they're like, oh, you're here for one or the other. So, and by worth watching, I mean The Stand was worth trying. It's definitely not worth watching. That's a whole other episode, though. F that show. But I finally finished it, and oh my god.
That's
So
gonna be another episode.
yeah, well, it could be if we wanted to talk about a TV show. Other functionality stuff. I mean, there are a lot of like little things. So, like I said, when I go through and I want to see everything that's on the service that I can actually watch, and especially like movies, like here, okay, I'm looking at it right now. So normally I would expect to be able to go through, look at all the different genres, kind of go through, like I can look at everything in one place, which they let you do, or I can look at the genres, which is where, okay, so the categories are popular. Okay, fine, I'd probably ignore that. But then they have action, comedy, documentaries, drama, kids and family, thriller, or A to Z, which is everything. Now, I
Oh.
mean, I'm a science fiction fan. I'm a horror fan. Those are the two sections I'm going to go through. Technically, like I know that it's thriller is actually all the horror stuff, but like the fact that there's no science fiction section just boggles my mind.
Yeah, because where would that be?
And you would think,
Yeah, I mean,
especially with someplace
drama.
that has
No.
Star Trek, really? That Star Trek is like one of their cornerstones. You think they'd go, well, we'll probably have a lot of sci-fi fans come to this.
Yeah,
Oh,
I, I
okay.
mean, I mean, looking at it right now, they have well, and they may have stuff in different sections, like multiple sections, but drama includes stuff like Sin City and Indiana Jones, which,
Mm.
I mean, sure, I guess I could see that, but still, yeah, it's crazy that they don't have, they have no, and they also have no. I mean, maybe I will say this might be because they actually don't have enough content to fill out those sections, because that's the one we'll talk. We'll get to the content in a minute and talk about that. But yeah, any other functionality stuff you guys want to talk about?
I was just excited I could remove stuff from my we keep watching.
Yeah, well,
Um,
I guess we've
yeah, I
gotten
mean, no,
something out of this.
it's yeah, yeah, no, I'm not a. It's like you said, it's 2021, and we've been doing streaming for quite a while now,
Yeah,
and there are conventions, and there are things that there are conventions because they work and people use them, and this is like what? Oh, we're a streaming service, something completely new. What's this? I've never heard of it.
Mm.
So yeah, the
yeah,
whole thing's a little janky. I do think part of it is to try and hide the fact that they do have a limited amount of content. I think the TV shows are really their bread and butter, and they have a handful of movies, and so they want to make it look like they have more, so they
they
hide.
obfuscate it. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
and
Because it's
now,
like, yeah,
yeah, and speaking of content, so I mean, I guess we can move on to that. This is kind of a segue because I think the reason they changed this to Paramount Plus instead of CBS All Access was that they are bringing a couple of brands under one umbrella. So this includes all the CBS content, but now they also include content from BET, Comedy Central, MTV, Nickelodeon, and the Smithsonian Channel, which is
Mm.
great. But again, with the usability, so you can go to brands and you can kind of search like by each of those brands. But then when you like, I'm looking at MTV right now, you just get there's no way to like subcategorize stuff or search through stuff. When I go to MTV, it just shows me, okay, here's all the stuff for MTV. There are
Oh,
actually a couple of
geez.
great things under there, but it's like it's all buried under all, Teen Mom 2 and the oh Jesus, what is some of this other stuff? I don't even know. The Real World. I mean,
Ugh.
stuff I don't care about. So yeah, it's just kind of a mess in terms of content. Okay, so there's some decent stuff on here. I think to me, content wise, this feels like I would call it a binge and purge service, because I will get it. I would binge something and then I would cancel my subscription until probably
100%.
the TV show that I was watching comes back on next year. So
Yeah.
like Paul, you mentioned Star Trek. That's obviously one of their biggest properties. They've had, I think they're on the third season of Discovery, and they just finished the first season of Picard.
right. And they also have the Lower Decks, which is the half-hour cartoon comedy series as well.
Yeah. So like if you're a Star Trek fan, great. If you somehow missed all of the reviews and you're a Stephen King fan and you're like, oh, I want to watch that new Stand show because I think it's going to be great. You probably would want to subscribe, but then once you're done with that stuff and you start looking around, it's kind of impressive the minimal offerings they have for pretty much anything else. Do you guys have any comments or any thoughts on any of the specific content?
Is there specific content? No.
Again, it comes down to part of it's that interface. It's hard to find it.
Yeah.
I was actually looking at the Nickelodeon channel, going, "Well, this is nice nostalgia for when my kids were little." Oh wow, and then you go, "Do I really want to sit there and watch that much of Angry Beavers?" It was,
The answer
I
is
mean,
yes, but
yeah, well, but what I'm saying, it's like even something you loved and you go, "Hey, I still kind of enjoy this. It's still pretty good." You go, okay. I mean, I remember watching Danger Mouse in the 80s and loving Danger Mouse. And actually, when my wife and I were dating, we would watch like Danger Mouse and Count Duckula and things like that. And so it's like, okay, but then it's like, how much of it can I watch again? Because there's so many other things that I want to watch that aren't, that I've seen, haven't seen already.
Yeah, this is
right.
one of those that I definitely I don't know, a few years ago signed up for it for some reason. I don't remember what it was. Canceled. Actually, I think I tried to cancel and they were like, "Oh, just stay on. We'll give you like 3 more months for the price of one." I was like, "All right, fine. I'm going to cancel it again." And then this year I got it so my dad could watch the Super Bowl, and I kept it. And again, I don't remember what I watched. And of course I just canceled it recently. But see, so they add on, what was it, Nickelodeon? But just today, I was like, where are the Adventures of Pete and Pete? Not on Paramount Plus, apparently.
Oh,
So
wow. No?
I haven't,
Dang.
well, I Googled it and it didn't come up anywhere, but I didn't look
Yeah, yeah.
specifically, unless it just doesn't show up. Uh,
Well, it's not showing up under the kids section. Maybe
see?
it's under thriller.
along with all the horror stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember looking around it once and just the same, just not really seeing anything that was exciting. I mean, especially when you can get so much out of free streaming services nowadays. Like, give me a break.
Yeah. I mean, I will say there are some hidden gems in the movies. I think, Paul, you mentioned earlier, one of the biggest things is that a lot of the stuff on here is not exclusive to Paramount Plus. So even the stuff that might be worth watching on here, you probably already have access to on, Hulu or Netflix or Amazon Prime or any of the other services that you might already have subscriptions to. So it almost feels like the added cost here is not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, most certainly. And some of the things that were on there originally, like the big bus, is no longer there.
That's right.
What's
You were
up with
mentioning
that?
that in chat. That was
Yeah,
your big selling point. And then when you realized that it wasn't there anymore,
the
and
big bus.
Paramount Plus had betrayed you.
They
That's
had
really
it,
upsetting.
Do we want to call out any? And I know I'm kind of putting you guys on the spot. I don't know because I didn't mention this before, but are there any hidden gems you guys want to call out? Because I got a couple.
Oh, no, I think you should, because I actually just pulled up my recommendation list because I was like, do I even have anything on? I don't have anything on there from Paramount Plus. So I don't know if I'm just missing things that, I typically will Google a movie and it'll pop up on the side, where you can watch it. I don't know if Paramount Plus is not featured there, but if they are, the answer is no.
Yeah, I mean, for me, since there is no queue, there was no point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, because that's how I'm like you. I'll
for
add.
sure.
I won't necessarily do it the first time I go through, but I'll add a lot of stuff to my queue, and then I'll try to pick something at random from there.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna. It's hard enough going through my queue and deciding what I want to watch. Having to go through a million things and go, oh wow, don't know. It's like no.
I don't know what that's like at all.
Yeah,
Oh.
well, I will call out there are a couple of things on here that I'll also mention that they are currently offering a free month subscription. I believe through March 31st. If you sign up now, you can get a free month. That's what I did. So you can sign up and watch some of this stuff, and then just make sure to cancel your subscription. But I think the big draws for me are actually some of the MTV stuff. They have I believe all of Beavis and Butthead on there, and they also have all of Wonder Chosen on there. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Wonder Chosen. It's
It wasn't. No.
oh god, oh yeah, oh god. Okay, you guys need to watch Wonder Chosen. Like seriously, it is it's basically a parody of a kids show, but it's like super disturbing and subversive. I can't even I won't go into details. Watch it and be amused and possibly offended by it. It's hilarious. And then I'll also mention that The State is on there, which is a sketch
Oh, wow,
comedy
okay.
show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay, you guys know The State.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone who has watched any comedy in the last, I don't know, 15 years will probably recognize some of the people from The State. It's got Ken Marino on there. It's got
Hmm.
Jesus Christ, Joe
He's
Latruglio on there. Yeah, Jesus Christ is not on there. He's actually one of the few. I think he probably makes an appearance though. No, The State. I say that The State is a sketch comedy show that was so ahead of its time that
Ugh.
we are still trying to catch up with it because it's there's a lot of stuff that I love. I mean, it's a hilarious show, but it's also got a lot of like little things that yeah.
And
Anyways,
how many of them went on to do amazing
oh,
things?
absolutely.
Oh,
I will mention, so anyone who watches this, watch the segues between the sketches because this is something I did not realize. Well, I think when I was originally watching it until a couple episodes in, the one of the most brilliant things is the way they segue between sketches. But yeah, so I definitely recommend that. It was really hard for me to find any movies on here. Like I mentioned, that there are some good movies on here. Don't get me wrong, but they are all available on other services. The only thing I think I could find that was really worth calling out and might be worth watching, and this isn't even like a super great movie, it's just kind of an interesting one if you like sci-fi. It's called Avalon. It's from 2003, and it is notable for being a live action film, or I think it's live action, but it's kind of shot against green screen, kind of Sin City style. But it was directed by Mamoru Oshii, whose name I'm probably mispronouncing, but the guy who directed the original Ghost in the Shell and Ghost in the Shell 2. So
I
kind of
actually have it on video CD.
wow.
Avalon or Ghost in the Shell.
No, I have Avalon on video CD.
Oh really? Oh
That's
my
great.
Yes.
god. Okay, that's pretty. Jesus.
I think years ago I tried to actually convert it to like a DVD, and I think I did. I'd have to take a look. But
Yeah. The honestly, it's a movie that I remember hardly anything about except for the soundtrack is done by Kenji Kwai, who did the soundtrack for Ghost in the Shell. So the soundtrack is possibly the best part of it, based on my memory. I think that's all I have. I guess the bottom line question is: would we pay? God, I don't even know how much are they asking. It's like I think $10 a month or
It's
a little
$5.99.
$5.90. Is that with commercials or without though?
Oh, with I
I,
have no idea.
I think it's without because we bought
Okay.
a year worth of it for my wife because she wanted it for her birthday present because she wanted to watch the TV shows that were on it, and it doesn't have commercials, and I think we didn't pay that much for
Okay.
the
Okay.
year. So yeah.
Well, yeah, it's showing me $9.99 a month after my subscription ends. So I
Oh,
think it might be
Oh.
without commercials if you're paying month to month is $9.99, which I think is absolutely insane for this service. You guys actually pay for this. So tell me, do you think you're getting your money's worth?
I was just gonna say I canceled. I would not even pay 5. I was thinking maybe $3.99 with what they have right now.
Yeah.
Like, give me a break, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Shelly watches it quite a bit, but
Does she?
for like
I
some of the
think if
older
you're into
shows,
TV,
for
yeah.
the older shows. But like I said, I watched Star Trek on it, but Star Trek is on about 30 different, is on about because I'm watching Next Generation right
Yeah.
now. About 30 different streaming services.
Yeah.
So I
It's on
watch it
all
just
of them.
because I'm like, oh, I need to. Oh, I did find. Look, they've got Dean Spanley, so there is that. No, Dean Spanley's pretty fun. I'll address that in some other movie, other pick. So never
Is that
mind.
a film or a TV show?
It's a film. It's a film,
Okay.
and I'm trying to
Oh.
think which. Anyway, that's for another Q-tips.
All right. Well, hey, let's wrap it up. Let's rate this guy. What would we give out of let's give out of 5 anachronistic VHS tapes because that's what we rate our movies on our main episodes. How many VHS tapes would we give Paramount Plus as a streaming service? Paul, do you want to start? You probably have more experience with this than anyone.
Not really, because like I said, I literally the only thing I've watched on it is Star Trek, and the only thing I've watched on it that was uh, exclusive to it was Lower Decks, which was fun, but then it got annoying because they just kept dropping like name dropping things from the other series, and it's like
Yeah.
these characters aren't gonna know who the hell these people are. Stop that, So that got annoying. Otherwise, it was kind of fun. Um, Honestly, I'd give it maybe 1.5 VHS tapes, and that's simply because
Mm.
I know that my wife uses it, and so she enjoys it, but I don't really watch it. So Nice.
Yeah. Renee, what do you think?
I would give it. I'm going to give it 1, which is half the
Mm.
number of things that I would watch on that for the state and I forget what else. There's something we just talked about that I would watch on there, and that's about it.
Yeah. So in its current incarnation, I kind of went back and forth in this. I'm going to give it 1.5, only because I give it a full tape for the state because it is
Mm.
seriously one of the most brilliant things ever, and then maybe half a tape for Wonder Chosen and Beavis and Butthead, which I don't think are available elsewhere. Again, I would probably, even if I didn't have a free subscription to this, I would probably get a month, watch all this stuff, and then cancel it.
For sure.
Also, fuck CBS for airing The Stand, which is horrible and was seriously a huge waste of my time, and I think everyone else's. So I just wanted to add that.
And they
Because,
didn't even offer the original to like
oh,
rewrite your
well,
brain.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
they did.
Well,
No, I had to watch it on YouTube.
yeah, I don't think, I think the original was on like ABC or something, but even if they had the rights to it, they probably wouldn't air it because they'd be like, our new
Yeah.
show that we dumped millions and millions of dollars into is going to be upstaged by this TV movie from 1994. Which it absolutely is. But hey, that's another episode.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of whatever we're going to call this segment. We hope you've enjoyed our review of Paramount Plus. And, send us your feedback if you want to defend Paramount Plus, or if you work for Paramount Plus and want to send us a check and we'll take this episode down. Great. Otherwise, I kid. But no, seriously, send us money and we'll do anything you want us to. Let us know your thoughts. Renee, Paul, any final parting thoughts?
I want to take away half of a VHS tape because they have the Love Guru from Mike Myers.
I was gonna call that out. I was gonna make a joke and call that out.
They lose half that tape. Sorry. Oh man, no.
I used to work with a guy who unironically loved that movie, and everyone gave him shit constantly for it. Someone bought him like a Love Guru poster, and like he had it hung up at his desk.
But you know what? That's nice. He's able to get joy from something that
literally no one else did.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, we should be. It should be nice. Consider it's nice that this man gets joy from something as terrible as.
Yeah. Well, hey, right, yeah, and drop us a line if you're the one person in the world who got joy from Paramount Plus, because it's kind of crap. So, hey, thanks for joining us, and have a great night.